All right, James, we're live.
And we're live. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are from the part of the world, whatever time zone you may be. I would like to greet everyone, especially our followers from our Facebook channels. A very good evening for the Filipino community that we have. By the way, my name is James and I'm the Resistance Trader. I will be your host for tonight about this topic that we will discuss the Nigerian example, a government's differing views of cryptocurrency. Now, before that, I also would like to acknowledge my co-host here, Coach Jonathan Tinoco. Say hi, Coach.
All
Coach
right,
Jonathan.
James,
Hi.
thank you. Thank you for that introduction and welcome to our viewers. Welcome to our followers of this Facebook Live session, particularly our community. So, welcome. And I believe for tonight's session, you're going to learn a lot later on. Especially, this is an intriguing topic. So, I guess it's time for us, of course, to share also what's going on right now in the crypto market. Right, James?
Yes, sir. Actually, before we get started, would like to congratulate everyone for who is holding Bitcoin for having an all-time high again. Of course, Bitcoin hits another all-time high. Everybody's happy. Everyone's holding Bitcoin is happy. And of course, aside from being happy, of course, comes also some challenges or resistance coming from either regulators and other institutions that more of that we will be discussing in a while. So again, I would like to thank our communities for making this broadcast possible. This is in collaboration between the Resistance Trader community, Museigen Academy, of course, our partners from the US and Nigeria. Thank you very much for bringing in with us your knowledge. And without further ado, I would like to introduce our speakers for tonight. Of course, we have from Nigeria our guest from Naija Crypto. Yeah, he is the CEO of Naija Crypto. His name is Gozi Iwu, and also with us tonight here is Mr. Emeka Ezike from Paxful Nigeria. Paxful is a peer-to-peer trading platform. Yeah, there you go. And of course, from our friend from the United States. Last week, he was one of our guests also from the United States. Fred Brandon, the CEO of Brand New Technologies. There you go. So before we get started about the topic at hand, I would like to ask our good friend, of course, from Nigeria, Gozi Iwu, to give a little background of what they do in Nigeria. Gozi?
Okay, okay. First of all, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's a pleasure to be with this amazing community. Okay, first of all, what we'll do, as you have already introduced, the CEO of Naija Crypto. Naija Crypto, basically, we are a centralized exchange that tries to pair fiat with as much cryptocurrencies as possible. Right. Apart from the normal crypto to crypto trading, we try to get fiat rams, and our most popular fiat RAM today is the Nigerian Naira fiat RAM, which of course was disrupted a bit in recent weeks, but we're still pushing via peer-to-peer method. And basically, we have also recently integrated the Kenyan shilling. We now offer deposits, withdrawal to the Kenyan market, and we're also pairing a lot of cryptos currencies with the Kenyan shilling. We also offer a lot of other services such as um, futures loans, which we launched about last month, which you can get loans with your cryptocurrencies. And we're also going to be introducing loans for the Kenyan market. We already have loans for the Nigerian market. We also have our staking program. We offer a whole lot of things on Niger Crypto. The main aim is fostering financial inclusion in Africa. And even with the recent challenges, we hope to build a very, very great brand coming forward.
Well, thank you very much,
Thank you.
Gozi, for that very informative information that you gave us right now. And by the way, we also have a special guest, the president and founder of HTML Coin, a cryptocurrency and Althash blockchain platform and suite of technology that launches dApps or decentralized applications. We have here tonight also with us Mr. Amando Boncales. Say hi, Amando.
Hey, good morning, guys. Good morning,
Yeah,
Philippines. Excited to be part here and looking forward for a productive conversation.
thank you, thank you. By the way, Amando is also the president CEO of Althash University, an online university that specializes on cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. So, yeah, uh, some of the topics that we will be discussing tonight will be circling around the recent happenings in what happened with the government of Nigeria, and also what happened with cryptocurrency or Bitcoin. For the purpose of this discussion, allow me to throw in some questions that I will be asking our panelist or our guest. So I'll be calling on your name so that whenever I ask that question, you know that it will be directed to you. Now, for both our Nigerian guests tonight, Mr. Emika and Gozi, we would like to know more on what happened in the recent weeks with in terms of the government policies with cryptocurrencies in your country. Can you share a little bit more about it, Emika? Emika? Yeah.
Thank you for that. So my name is America. Thank you for the introduction. So personally, my own view, and from internal conversations with some individuals, uh, cryptocurrency was like actually created mostly for the African need. So organically, the youths, which are the most populated number in Nigeria, find easy use and started being creative with the digital assets. So most of the youth started using it for lots of as a financial tool. They were not just trading it; it became a financial tool. Like it was a way for them to bypass lots of financial blockage in the market. Now, this was not noticed easily before, but as the volume became huge, millions of dollars weekly was going through digital asset to help break some limits in the financial market in Nigeria. Now, this was offsetting the CBN balance sheet. So being the monetary body of the country, and you're noticing that the data is not adding up of what the financial movement should be in Nigeria. So let's say you're expecting $10 billion to be in your book, and you're noticing you're short. So they just noticed that lots of things are happening without them being able to say, where are those financial tools? So CBN became so worried, and they were not being in control of this. I think they were so scared. Let's put it that CBN became scared of the youth set who are in the blockchain space. And it's out of that fear, they decided to tame innovation. They are trying to tame innovation, not trying to regulate it. So to me, I see it like they're trying to tame us in this sector. And the reason for this is to be able to understand where is this financial, like what's happening back door. So I think that is the major reason that ignited the CBN new crypto ban or relationship with the bank. So I think that was really what ignited it. Thank you.
Thank you, Emika, for that insightful comment you gave. I would like to also hear from our friend Gozi about what you think is the reason for the ban in terms of economics, since you are a CEO of an exchange. In terms of monetary and economics, can you share with us what do you think is happening right now in Nigeria? Why do you think it was banned? Emika says that the government is trying to tame the technology, and with you as an exchange on the monetary or the commercial side of it, how do you view it?
Okay, like America said, basically, they are trying to tame the technology because it's something they cannot control, basically, right? The aim of every central bank is to use monetary policy to achieve particular goals, right? And they cannot achieve those goals because they cannot control monetary policy, right? So, of course, most of us in the crypto space have some level of libertarian ideology. So we do not believe in monetary policy as an effective tool, basically. But the truth is, the ban, like, it shows that traditional systems cannot keep up with what we are doing here in the cryptocurrency world, right? Okay, they are claiming, that, oh no, we're doing this because of fraud. We're doing this because of remittance issues. We're doing this because of, like, they gave some silly excuses in which anybody that reads it would be like, what's going on here? Like, do these people even do their research? So it shows that they've lost so much control of the market because a lot is being done with cryptocurrencies. Finance is being disrupted with cryptocurrencies. And sincerely, them doing this, they're only they had a strong effect on our centralized exchanges, because what they basically did is to make banks not bankers, right? And all of us use like banking APIs and things like that to operate, and it reduced our deposits. But you have also you've made cryptocurrencies more popular, because a lot of people are like, oh, what the hell is this? What is this being banned? And the peer-to-peer markets, the informal markets, right, have become even bigger than it should be, right? Even bigger than normal. So it's just a situation whereby you're trying to control this, but you cannot. You cannot control a decentralized structure that is innovating on a very, very high pace. Thank you.
Thank you, Gosi, for that insight. For those guys who just went in with our live watching right now, we just would like to give you also a background of what we are discussing here before we proceed with the next topic that we will discuss together. By the way, the reason, maybe you are wondering, especially Filipino watchers or those who are watching right now from our communities in the Philippines, what's the impact? Why are we discussing about Nigeria? This is not the Philippines, this is Nigeria. Why do you think we are discussing this topic right now with our friends from Nigeria, from Paxful peer-to-peer, and from the exchanges in Nigeria, and from our friends in the United States? Why do you think we are discussing this? I will give you the reason why. Let me give you the reason why for those who just tuned in. Cryptocurrency is a universal currency, meaning to say it's cross border. So these guys from Nigeria, they can actually send money to us in the Philippines and vice versa using this platform, cryptocurrency and blockchain. Now, what happened in Nigeria right now that there's a current ban for centralized cryptocurrency exchanges like the one Gozi is managing or owning is they wanted to tame or sort of control, give a control on how cryptocurrency works in the ecosystem of their country. Apparently, what happened in Nigeria is actually a precedence, meaning to say this would become such a model that maybe, just maybe, other governments will look into. And since this is a big issue for the government in Nigeria and the people of Nigeria, this is not far from happening from anywhere across the globe and, of course, the Philippines. And that's the reason why we are discussing it right now, for us to understand the lessons on what is happening to them and what's happening to their country, and how we are to adapt also on our end in our country. And of course, as cryptocurrency advocates and blockchain, I believe Fred, Brandon from the US, you guys will also agree that we should be self monitoring, or what do you call this, not necessarily regulating, but standardizing things as cryptocurrency advocates and blockchain. We are technologists, something like that. So we wanted this to be standardized in a way, so what's happening in Nigeria is like a precedence of what it is to come, right? So right now I'll be asking this question to Brandon on how does the people in the United States look especially those people who are into cryptocurrency. How are they looking into the markets right now, especially what happened with the Nigerian government and its people?
So yes, I totally agree. I think that once we start understanding that this is supposed to be a decentralized environment, that anything that happens to Nigeria can happen anywhere, right? And once it starts taking precedence, other governments may try to step in and try to do the exact same thing. So one of the things that we really need to do is understand exactly why they're doing this, what's the real purpose of them trying to maintain their control, and understand exactly, what we can do to help Nigeria if possible. Because once we start thinking about it on a global scale, and not just something that's localized to just one country, then we can start thinking a lot bigger. This is going to be something that's going to affect us globally. One of the things that we start looking to when we see these central banks and the control that they're starting to lose, they understand this. And the thing about it is, once we start, allowing this power to slip back into their hands, we're pretty much defeating ourselves. So we really want to stay ahead of the game, especially in this decentralization, and just make sure that this goes mainstream as much as possible.
Thank you, Brandon. Now, before we again make another round of discussion, I'll bring back the microphone to Coach Jonathan with this question for our community, for the understanding of our community, Coach Jonathan. Maybe you could help enlighten us with the how, because, well, we are teaching our communities and our fellow countrymen about cryptocurrency. Now, there's this question that arises from some of our followers or some of our countrymen. We usually talk about market capitalization in crypto, right? You'll be hearing that a lot of time with people. So especially those who are trading cryptocurrency, coach. Now there is this question that how can this currency have a market capitalization? They're trying to compare, for example, the fiat currency with cryptocurrency. So I think it's relevant for us to discuss that a little, just a little about it, for our audience understanding as to why there was a ban of cryptocurrency from our friends in Nigeria. And if it's a currency, that's the question. Why does it have a market capitalization? How can a currency have a market capitalization?
Sure, James.
So
Okay.
yeah, sure.
Of course. By the way, first of all, for those of us watching right now, so welcome to our viewers, and continue to post, share type your questions in the chat box below. So later on, we're going to answer them one by one. Okay, so moving forward with regards to your question, James. First is market capitalization is the money that is circulating right now in the crypto market, and as we can see right now, the total market cap. I was surprised because it's now at 1.7 trillion dollars, and Bitcoin, I believe, right now is at 55,000 dollars. Now, a lot of people are asking if why most people are buying Bitcoin, or where does the money came from, right? Now, the idea of just to give you a short background and idea about cryptocurrency. By the way, for those of you who's new in the crypto market, crypto is an online currency. It's something that you can use if you want to, purchase goods. If you want to buy anything online, you can also use Bitcoin. Particularly all the cryptocurrencies available in the market for trading, investing, and some sort of things available in the market. So the idea is, if you're going to check the total supply of Bitcoin, the maximum supply of Bitcoin is only 21 million supply. That's the maximum supply. So the more people will buy Bitcoin, the more people will actually purchase Bitcoin. So eventually, because there's a limitation in supply, what do you think will happen with the price of Bitcoin? So definitely it will go up. So meaning that the more market cap, the more money that will come in the market, particularly in the crypto in Bitcoin, it means that the price will go up and continue to rise up. But as always, okay, it doesn't mean that it's because the crypto market is a good venture right now, right? Because most people are saying the market, or we're in the bull run, right? It doesn't mean that you need to put and to invest right away. Okay. So again, study the foundation, study the concept, and of course, don't kumbaga, start small. Okay, like what I've said and in our previous session, don't put everything in one basket. Start small, especially for those of us who just want to enter right away, particularly newbies. Sorry, James, you're muted.
Yeah. Thank you, Coach Jonathan, for that insight. I would like to also extend a similar question to By the way, Amando is back. He got off a while ago, maybe because of his connectivity. Now he's back, and a similar question to Amando. Hi, Amando. Say hi to everyone.
Hi guys, good morning.
Morning. Yeah, we were discussing about cryptocurrency and market capitalization. Coach Jonathan here told us about exactly how why not to buy in right now and how to possibly invest. But yeah, a while ago we were discussing. They say that the cryptocurrency is a cryptocurrency. How come there's a market capitalization? It boils down with, I think, tokenomics, right? That the value of cryptocurrency can be pegged with other currency, but it's actually it can be technically speaking independent of fiat currencies. If, for example, because this is decentralized in nature, just what Emika mentioned a while ago, right? Amando, what do you think about this? Speaking of about tokenomics and everything, because we wanted to understand that before we discuss the economic side and impact of how and what the Nigerian situation is happening right now and with cryptocurrency.
Right. So there are many things to consider. Um, but I will focus on the supply of Bitcoin. And that why there are plenty of academic scholars argue that it would be difficult for Bitcoin to be the mainstream equivalent of fiat. Fiat, I mean that, you use Bitcoin to purchase in store, to go to store physically, everybody, and then use that to, buy goods and services. There are many limitations that I can think of. And um, well, I will discuss first the pro and then follow with the cons. The pro is that um, frictionless. If you have enough Bitcoin, it's easy to send and receive um, the 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 uh, the crypto Bitcoin. And then right now it's becoming a financial tool where people, it's not more of an asset, it's not more of a fiat where you can use it to buy the store, but it's more of a financial instrument, an asset now, that you buy it and then you hope in the future that it will increase in value. And that's and everybody, it's getting mainstream and the value is just going up. We are in the bull season. The cons that the academics are saying is um, the technology. People are not have difficulty on transacting it, and sometimes it needs uh, technical know-how. And while the technology is catching up, we have right now, for example, exchanges where aims to facilitate the use of cryptocurrency Bitcoin to the mainstream. Still a lot of people are unable to use it. Number two is that the supply of Bitcoin. We know that Bitcoin has 21 million supply, and we can divide it to the smallest Satoshi. And because of that, even if you have one Bitcoin, but you can transact it, on its lowest value. The problem with that one in mainstream capitalism we have right now is that we control, our economy expand and contract. So for us to sustain the growth, we have to have enough medium of exchange, digital asset, to give to people as the economy expand. As it contracts, we withdraw it. So the thing with Bitcoin, it will not be able to expand because the supply is fixed. So the value will continue to go up, and it's a good thing for those people who keep it. But in the long run for economy, if you want to use it for international transaction, big, country to country transaction, it would be difficult because you have a limited number and the value fluctuate. It will continue to go up. That's not a problem. But as you can see in history, the colonization of non-European countries like in the West, like in the United States, they were also supplied by money creation, where the bank created money out of nothing and given it to people. So they are able to expand naturally the supply, the liquidity. But in our situation in Bitcoin, we cannot do that. However, there are other cryptocurrencies who can do it, a token who can do it, that be able to supply the demand, able to respond the demand on the expansion of economy as many people use it. Right now, it is a natural it's a natural response from any government, especially in Nigeria, that they have to regulate. But I would like to pinpoint that the Nigerian government should be careful, because they don't want to kill this opportunity. Because cryptocurrency, not just Bitcoin, but there are other cryptocurrency where they can expand the supply, and the government should not kill the creativity of the people, or else they will lose this opportunity. Right now, we are in global recession, and more government are pumping money in the system so that people can, move, the economy can go moving. I think this is a good opportunity for governments to embrace cryptocurrency, since there's a lot of people now are willing to embrace this technology.
Thank you, Amando, for that very insightful comment. Having said that, I would like to pivot back to our Nigerian friends. But before that, I would like to welcome on the room our good friend, Mr. Fermin, one of our panelists and the co-founder of Museigen Academy, Fermin Berenechea. For those who do not know Fermin, I would like to introduce him as well. Fermin is actually, aside from being the co-founder of Museigen, has a vast experience in the banking and finance industry. He has 17 years of solid background. He is a former senior executive for an international bank, and there's a wide array of knowledge in terms of financials. And yeah, welcome Fermin. Say hi to the people in the room.
Yes, hello everybody. I apologize for just coming on. I had internet connection issues. Welcome to everybody who's listening from Nigeria, as well as all the other parts of the world, for this very important and interesting topic.
Thank you, Fermin. So I'll be pivoting back to our friends from Nigeria on this question. Well, Amando just made mention that the government should not totally ban. So it's like they should be careful on what they do. Now, we've read this on the news. Then maybe you can help enlighten us, because we saw, correct me if I'm wrong, correct us if we are wrong, but from what we've read, there is this difference between how the SEC treats the SEC of Nigeria treats the cryptocurrency versus how the central bank was looking into the ban. It's like the SEC initially wanted to regulate cryptocurrency, while on the other hand, the central bank wanted to ban it altogether, not just regulate it. Is that correct? Can any of our friends like Emika and Gozi can share their insight about this topic?
Okay. It's just like having a father and son, a father and son relationship. The son might like what the servants are doing, and and kind of pets and talk with the servant and play around with the servant and try to understand what the servants are doing. But finally in the house, the father has the say. The father makes the decision. So that's the relationship between CBN and SEC. SEC is under CBN. So SEC, yes, they were more open to learn about how to properly regulate the Bitcoin space, not the Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency or the digital asset market as a whole, and they were drawing stakeholders closer and gathering information, gathering data, and trying to understand the space, which has not stopped. It's still under, like I said, the ban is just to put a thing. Now, CBN concern was not on if you're regulating the space. They have no issue with you going ahead to regulate the space. Their concern was put a stop to digital asset interfacing with Naira so we can understand what is happening with the Naira in the country. They are not telling you, they didn't tell SEC to not continue with trying to regulate the space. They didn't put a stop to that. But their major concern is, hey, lots of Naira is getting outflowed, inflowed. We don't understand what is happening. We're just hearing figures, millions of dollars, billions of dollars. Stop, let's understand what is happening. Our banks, our commercial banks are getting lower inflow on dollar. So what's happening? So that means remittance has started happening. So disruption was really crazy on all channels. Disruption was on inflow from remittance. Disruption was on how people made payment for school fees abroad. Disruption was on all verticals. So it was crazy. It was coming at the same time. And CBN just had to say, well, do you know what? We don't want to know what you guys are doing anymore. For now, let's just put a stop to it. So SEC is still ready to continue with the process, but CBN is the father. They make the final call on anything concerning monetary policies. So that is just the concept. CBN is just concerned about the inflow and outflow of Naira. Thank you.
Thank you, Ezike. That's the inflow of Naira. So the concern of the CBN or the central bank is actually the management inflow of Naira, not cryptocurrency per se. That's how you
Yes.
want it. Now, having said that, let me follow that up with a question, and maybe our friend Rosie can answer this one. What is the Senate, the Nigerian Senate position on cryptocurrency? Would you know, guys?
Okay, to actually get to where the Senate is, I have to just add to what Emeka has said a bit, right? No, there are different regulatory agencies. The SEC regulates investment flow within the economy. The CBN regulates regulates the banking sector as well as formulates monetary policy, and surprisingly in Nigeria, the commodities market. So now you have a situation whereby the SEC was already working with the players in the markets. They were already trying to regulate, bring about regulations to allow best investment practices. Basically, they made a lot of the exchanges foul with the SEC, right? And this was the situation going. We also have a technological regulator called the NITS that are already working with exchanges, looking for a way to protect investors, looking for a way to protect investor data in terms of the technological regulator, in terms of the SEC protect investors' funds. We had gone so far on that. We had already been filing. We were about to get licensing from the SEC, but the CBN took a different position because of like what Emeka said, it could no longer control money flow within the country, right? Now, coming to the Senate saw these two positions, right? Because the Senate had already seen that, the SEC was actually working towards regulating this particular sector, and then the CBN took more of the harsher approach by preventing banks from working with cryptocurrency exchanges. So the Senate knew that, okay, this was, first of all, you have the startups operating, employing over 2,000 people. In Naija Crypto alone, we both directly and indirectly, we have about a staff size of almost 100, right? And you have you also have a situation whereby a lot of people are empowered economically, maybe indirectly through the crypto trading flow, through the process, through the people that are doing the OTC markets, through people that are participating in the remittance markets. Now, the CBN is looking to control this money flow, but the Senate is looking at it like, we cannot go back. Like we cannot take a step back. Like this young guys, they're innovating, they are doing things in the markets, they're trying to build things, they're trying to improve the economy. Why don't we call both actors to the table and actually understand why the CBN did what it did, how the CBN can work with the exchanges, how we can bring up regulations. Places like in the US and some parts of Europe where they have regulations whereby centralized exchanges can work freely as long as they do the compliance, which basically a lot of us do over here in Nigeria, but maybe if they need more, we can do that, right? So the Senate is saying, oh, let's bring everybody to the table. Let's understand. Like a lot of them have never heard about cryptocurrencies before this particular event, right? But they now know about it. They now know that, oh, this industry is actually bigger than the Nigerian stock exchange. So let's try and understand what's going on. And hopefully in the coming weeks, we will see a lot of dialogue between the three parties, the cryptocurrency community, the central bank, and the Senate.
Thank you, Gozi. So that goes to show, correct me if I'm wrong, based from your answer, it means to show that the Senate of Nigeria seems to be leaning towards like it's not against the cryptocurrency. They're like
No.
acting like yeah. They wanted to learn more about it and see how it can improve your country. Different from the position of your CBN or central bank, correct? Thank you. Thank you.
Exactly.
So yeah. So in the economic perspective, this I would like to ask this question to our good friend Fermin, who has a vast experience in dealing with not just banks but also governments. In an economic perspective, why do you think, Fermin, for the benefit of our viewers, why do you think is the ban in cryptocurrency in Nigeria? They seem that our guest from Nigeria saying that the government or CBN, the central bank, is trying to control not crypto, but Naira. So in an economic perspective, what do you think is the impact of Bitcoin cryptocurrency to the Naira? Why did the government wanted to ban it altogether? Not the government, a big part of the government, like the central bank, wanted to ban it altogether. Why do you think is that so, Fermin?
Well, before I have a question for our friends from Nigeria. At the
Sure.
moment, is there still currently a limitation on how much the Nigerians can withdraw from their bank accounts?
Yeah, it depends
Um,
on the type of bank account you use. So there are different types of bank accounts. So different they have the student savings account, they have the normal savings account, they have the high deposit savings account, they have the current account. So they have different types of bank accounts, and some has no limit on what you can do, some has limits. Why limit differs depends on what you go for and your income basis, and maybe some high net worth individuals can do more, and it depends on your class as a citizen.
Okay, because I guess,
okay.
and yeah. Go ahead.
Let me quickly add to that. I think you're more concerned about the domiciliary banking accounts, right,
Yes.
which has more relevance to what we're speaking about. With that, yes, there is actually a very, very high limit. I think individuals cannot do more than $10,000 a day. In terms of naira, of course, there won't be limitations as internal inflow. In terms of the US dollar markets, they're about $10,000 a day. Most people cannot get access forex from the banks or withdraw from the domiciliary accounts of above $100,000 a day, which is why cryptocurrencies were actually helping that particular market.
Right. Okay. So, because I think you've answered the question, the main reason why crypto, I believe, has taken off the way it has in Nigeria is precisely because there are currently limitations being imposed. And let's say the people, at the end of the day, it's the people's money, right? So I suppose you take the philosophy that if it's my money, I should be allowed to do what I want with my money. So it doesn't make sense that you're going to arbitrarily, or okay, let's remove the word arbitrarily, that you will impose limitations on the withdrawal of my money. And I think that's one of the reasons why cryptocurrency has been an enabling factor, because through cryptocurrency, the Nigerians are able to do what they need to do or what they would like to do with the money, even if under the current banking system, there would have been some limits. So I do agree that it's not necessarily crypto that they're trying to control, but they want to impose the control on this, because if you impose the control on crypto, by default, then the citizens will probably have to go back to dealing with fiat, which they where they already have the controls imposed.
Thank you, Fermin. That was a very good explanation. Just to reiterate what Fermin just mentioned, for those who just went in, came in this live session, he made mention that we the people wanted control over their money. Well, most of us here in this panel, including myself, would agree that it's my money, it's our money, so we have to have the control over it. You know, I've been hearing complaints, especially in the local scenario, in the local scene, in the Philippines, for example, that there have been cases of, especially now, we have the longest lockdown. For the benefit of our friends from Nigeria and the US, we maybe have the longest lockdown in the world pertinent to the pandemic. You know, till now, technically we're still on a lockdown. So there's a problem with that. There's a problem in terms of banking because the usual banking thing that we do, we have to go to the long lines in the bank, etc. Now that we are online, of course, the money transfers has limitations, etc., etc. We are also experiencing the same. We have problems in transferring money, and when we have like problems in terms of, for example, erroneous transactions, it will take you hours, not just minutes, maybe hours, and not just 1 hour, many hours in the line over the phone just to fix that single, like for example, that's 1,000 peso transaction in the Philippine pesos, 1,000 peso transaction that you wanted to reverse. It will consume a lot of your time. Now, yeah, Fermin mentioned that the cryptocurrency is revolutionary in terms that since this is decentralized in nature, you don't need those banks to be in between you and your money. That's what the point is. So basically, it's a very insightful that yeah, the government is not actually banning cryptocurrency for the sake of banning cryptocurrency. They're banning cryptocurrency to regulate their own fiat currency called naira. Okay. So yeah. With
Tim,
that,
sorry,
there's
can I add something
yes, yes,
also?
yes, coach. Yes,
I've
coach.
I personally heard some, some people in space wherein if they want to withdraw their currency or their cryptocurrency back to fiat currency, there are, of course, there are some limitations. However, if you've reached a certain number or certain amount, the particular bank, okay, they will question your transaction, right? And of course, we see that the crypto market is right now we're in the bull run, and those who purchased Bitcoin way back maybe 2 3 years ago, let's say you're part of those who purchased during the bear market, definitely you've made a good return right now. So the thing is, most of those people who hold Bitcoin from 3 years ago until now, they're now started to convert their Bitcoin back to fiat currency. Of course, for instances they need that for maybe for other expenditures, or they want to venture in something else. But the thing is that they will ask you some questions like what we're gonna use the money, and why are you withdrawing that kind of amount, and in fact some are asking for documentations, okay, before you actually can withdraw your money. So the thing is that, again, this is not a financial advice, but however, maybe if you want to cash out or convert your fiat currency back to to local currency, I think one of the practice or best practice that you can also do is not to withdraw everything in one transaction. Maybe at first start by, let's say, $5,000 or $10,000. I don't know, because the reality is bank can actually see your transactions, right? So if, let's say, your normal transaction or regular transaction on a regular basis, on a monthly basis, let's say $1,000, then suddenly you have like $20,000 the following month. So of course, it's going to be a a red flag, right? So that's why it's a best practice, particularly for those of our viewers watching, especially if you're going to cash out your fiat currency or your crypto back to fiat currency, to start by starting to cash out that amount slowly. What I mean is, maybe for the next month, start by $2,000, the following month 3,000. So eventually you can increase your cash out. And yeah, so the thing is that you are showing to bank that you are your money, or let's say you're credible enough. Okay, you can comply, and at the same time you can show them that your account is actually growing. Okay, because if you suddenly convert, let's say if you suddenly convert your fiat, if you have 5 Bitcoin, right, if you convert that back to or deposit that to your bank account,
That's
definitely
a red
they
flag.
will ask you a question, where is it came from? That's not your normal transaction, right? So yeah. And of course, also choose a platform that that will also have a less or less risk when it comes to conversion, because there are some platforms locally. I think there are also platforms internationally wherein there's a maximum limit of cash out. Okay, so of course, yeah, choose what platforms you think could give you the higher limits so that you can convert your BTC back to peso or to local currency. Then yeah, start to at the same time, start small, then grow your show them that you're credible enough to cash out that fund eventually.
All right. Thank you, Coach Jonathan, for that comment. I think that's to answer some of our viewers right now in the live, right? So, in relation to that, let me ask this question to our friends from Nigeria. I think the two of our friends will have different answers with this question, because basically, this question is about volume. Okay, just for you guys, this will be about the volume, the impact, if any, of the ban in the Nigerian cryptocurrency trading volume. Now, you guys are working on a different model. Gozi is an exchange owner using a centralized exchange, meaning to say that he has money, like money in the bank, that will match a cryptocurrency vis-a-vis. So and at any point in time, if you have one Bitcoin, he has to match that on his wallet or in his purse, right, Gozi? Now the difference goes with Paxful, for example. Now for the benefit of those who are watching us, the Paxful is actually a peer-to-peer platform. They don't hold, unlike a centralized exchange. Paxful here, our friend Emika, they do not hold money as Paxful. They are a facilitator of a peer-to-peer. Now, maybe to explain more about that, we will ask Emika later. But before that, before that, let me throw in this question. Let me throw to both of them. Then I will have first Gozi explain based on the centralized platform that he uses, and of course on a decentralized platform like Paxful, which we will learn more about later. This is the question: what impact, if any, did the ban have on Nigeria's cryptocurrency trading volume? Your trading volume, Gozi, and the trading volume of Paxful in Nigeria. Then let's have Gozi first.
Okay, in terms of Niger Crypto, I think most centralized exchanges, not just Niger Crypto, at least I've spoken to at least other exchange CEOs and a lot of us in the industry. So it's the same effect. So in Niger Crypto, we have the Naira to crypto pairs, and then the crypto to crypto pairs where crypto is paired against things like USDT, BUSD, and other cryptocurrencies. So the crypto to crypto pairs, the volume did not change so much. It's almost the same, right? It fell by about, let's say, 10 to let's say 5 to 7%, right, from the last audit we did. But in terms of the Nigerian naira to crypto pairs, that fell over 60% in the first week after the ban. It fell over 80, 60 to 75%, right? In the second week, which we are just rounded up, it has increased a bit back, and the fall is about 25 to 30% fall in the trading volumes daily. And it's picking up a bit right now because there are now alternative deposit channels, and the peer-to-peer mechanism for deposits is being implemented and all. But the truth is there has been a drastic drop in this.
Yeah, thank you, Gozi, for that. Now let's hear from Emika. But before that, Emika, maybe you could give a background how peer-to-peer works, then answer the question. There, please
Okay,
proceed.
thank you. So, yeah, this is the 50th of Paxful operating in globally, and that's fifth plus year. And uh, we at Paxful, we modeled a business whereby we're trying to stick to the principle behind the blockchain network. That's the founding principle, decentralized way of exchange. So we just said, okay, how can we get Bitcoin to people? How can we make people easily own Bitcoin and become part of this global financial change? So we decided to say, let's create a platform whereby people could just, this is a service, we're rendering a service. We don't hold Bitcoin. We are not custodians of your Bitcoin. We don't interface with any final or any form of institutional government institution. That we don't hold Naira, we don't hold fiat. So what we just did was that, okay, how can we make Africa have access to Bitcoin? Then we found gift card. We found other digital. There were already existing form of other digital wallets forms out there, and people had this. And maybe in Africa you can get an Amazon gift card, but you can't go to any Amazon shop in Africa. It's not easily accessible to us. But someone in China, someone in US could need the Amazon gift card. Okay, why not we exchange it for Bitcoin? And that was it. So from that concept, we said, let's bring gift card as an access gateway for Africa to have access to owning Bitcoin. And this worked. And from that way, you can't say we are interfacing with any form of government. We're bringing people together. And that's the essence of Paxful. Paxful is like giving power, empowering people, and making people decide on how they want to earn Bitcoin, gain Bitcoin. You own, it's your choice. You have over 350 ways to be able to own Bitcoin using Paxful. So there is countless of limits. You can use gold to own Bitcoin on Paxful. You could use gaming items, name it. So it's awesome that the platform has made it so no reason for you to say you can reach or own a Bitcoin. The process is actually seamlessly. So that is what we do at Paxful, trying to make the excluded from the global financial world included in the new financial disruption, giving them access with as much as limitless possibility, name it, as possible. Whatever form of way we feel we can give access to Bitcoin, we're integrating it on the platform. Any form of easy payment, we know that African or globally, Philippines or anywhere in the world could use to gain access to Bitcoin. We're trying to bring it on the platform so you have no reason to be involved in this future of global finance. So that is what we do at Paxful.
Thank you, Emeka. But then answer the question, how is your
Okay.
volume doing now?
So
Because yeah, the centralized,
generally,
yeah, go.
So generally, yes, it scared the market away. A lot of people asking, how would this affect Paxful? How would this affect me trading on Paxful? But as I said, people decide. And a lot of people have decided to own Bitcoin community or the crypto community has like a soldier loyalty kind of followership. Like it's like a military kind of followership. Their government is codes. They don't care what you say. Now, you on Paxful, it didn't really affect us because these are people. They need to continue their daily business. And what we are just giving them is a platform for you to trade peer to peer. So we're not interfacing with fiat. So the only thing is that most of the traders, they decide on how to trade. So they can tell the traders, please, when you're making payments, do not include that you're paying me for Bitcoin or anything related to crypto on the transaction. So this way, the volume still remains stable and keep growing. So I would say we still have a healthy growing volume on a positive side on Paxful, yes.
Thank you, Emeka. Is it safe to say that your volume actually grew in with what happened right now? Because of course, people from your country with bitcoins, they will have to find an alternative to cash in or cash out, the memo or the money in, money out of their wallets. Since the likes of Naira Crypto of Gozi that doesn't have that right now, they cannot cash in, cash out using fiat versus crypto because of what happened with the ban. So meaning to say, people are shifting towards decentralized and peer-to-peer way of trading or in cashing their crypto. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's correct. You're not far from the truth. And it's for me to say this further. we're also open to supporting everyone in the crypto space, regarding how we can ensure that your trading activities continue. We've actually reached out to lots of local exchange and say, okay, do you think we can be of help due to our P2P volume so you can continue with your trading on your platform? How can we be of help? So like I said, Paxful is not just, it's an ecosystem. So yes, our volume is not affected because we keep reaching out to people and empowering people, and we have that form of soldier-like followership. Yeah. So yeah.
Thank you,
I,
Emeka.
I just want, I just wanted
Yes.
to touch on that as well. I think banks, it would behoove banks not to try to force their hand on this, because once they get into that area where they're saying, hey, do not use our money, then they're pretty much forcing everyone into crypto. So I think it would behoove them to either work with the crypto community in order, instead of trying to put a full ban on it or push anyone into what they, into the crypto hands, because that's exactly where it's going to go. If they're not very careful, that you're going to say, oh, you have to use our central banks. Okay, then we just totally decentralize. You can keep your Naira, you can keep your US dollar, you can keep whatever it is, and we'll just go straight crypto. So like I said, I think it would help them and benefit everyone if they wanted to keep the its citizens using its fiat dollars.
Yeah. So, meaning, Fred, you're trying to say that what's happening right now in Nigeria, the government is just pushing them more towards going decentralized and going crypto. Well, that is true. That's close to the truth as what Emeka made mention, that their volumes rise in terms of their trading after the ban happened, because the likes of the centralized exchanges like the one with Gozi, since the people from their exchanges cannot exchange their Bitcoin to their Naira using centralized platforms, they shifted to decentralized and peer-to-peer. That makes sense, because yeah, if you don't want us to use Naira, then we will just go, even for that's the reason, exactly the reason why Gozi explained a while ago that the pair between crypto to crypto did not change at all. It actually somehow just stabilizes and maybe increases more. Na, because the people, since they cannot exchange, for example, their Bitcoin to Naira, they might as well change it to something else that they may be able to use to purchase somewhere else. Yeah.
James,
So yeah,
sorry.
that's a very good point. Yes, yes, sir.
Can I ask a questions to our speakers also, our guest
Sure.
speaker? Okay. Is it true that in Africa and other countries also like in Nigeria, people are buying Bitcoin above its market price, let's say more than 20% or 30%? How and why people are buying that, even if let's say the price of Bitcoin right now is $55,000, then in some countries they're buying it at 70,000, 65,000, 60,000. So I think that's something that we could also clarify during the session.
Yes, that's a good question, Coach. Maybe our partners here from Nigeria can shed light on that.
And sorry, and also, is it also happening in the US or in other countries?
Yeah, maybe later after our
Sure.
Nigerian friends answer, we will shift and pan to our friends from the US. Gozi
All right.
and Emeka, you can answer. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, let me just quickly answer that. Okay, because I actually got a lot of messages about this week from a lot of foreigners saying, "Oh, Bitcoin is $75,000 in Nigeria. Why don't I buy here and sell here?" As in, like, isn't this like a very obvious arbitrage? Well, for the peer-to-peer platforms like the like Paxful and maybe other peer-to-peer platforms, and maybe even Binance is peer-to-peer, um, you would not see that type of arbitrage, right? Most of the data that is seen on like the directories, like CoinMarketCap and the rest, are gotten from centralized exchanges, right? Now, there are other centralized exchanges in Nigeria where Bitcoin is currently selling at a premium against the Naira, right? But that is because you cannot withdraw the Naira from those platforms. right? In Nigerian Crypto, we implemented a peer-to-peer method for people to withdraw Naira. That's selling our own Naira stable coin against Naira peer-to-peer. So the prices are still a bit normal, similar to the market price, although the spreads are higher. The buy and sell spreads are higher because the market makers have to protect themselves from the Naira to dollar risk, right? But in some other platforms, you will see Bitcoin going as high as if you convert to if you convert it the price to the dollars. That's because if those are Naira markets that you change it to Naira, all right, withdraw the Naira. It's not possible. So that's why. So there is no really any arbitrage opportunity there. It's still similar to the international rate. There is money to be made from market making because of higher spreads, but I don't really think there is any arbitrage, so to say.
Thank you, Gozi.
So,
How about Emeka? He's
so
smiling. He wanted to share something.
I would say Nigerian market is too competitive for you to see 20% on the market floor like that. So when I got that from a lot of Chinese, so I would agree it's possible, but it depends on the desperation at which the buyer is buying. And it will be on a group like WhatsApp, WeChat, but not seen on uh, any official platform like maybe Luno, Paxful, Naija Crypto, Bitfies.com. You can see plus 5%, you could see plus 7%, you could see plus 2%, but plus 20%, I will tell you that is not what you can get easily on the Nigerian street. It's going to be the backdoors kind of hustle, but I'm not saying it's not possible, but it's not something you can easily just say you see lying down on the street, like you just go and get $75,000. That doesn't really happen in Nigerian market. It's too competitive for that. We are
So
the
it means that
second largest traders of Bitcoin globally.
sorry. So it means that some people are hyping it, right? Could be.
Maybe it happened coincidentally. Like, okay, let me just give a scope. Like, maybe a rich guy might come on WhatsApp and say, I want to buy Bitcoin. And maybe he's being too nosy and they're like, if you have $75,000, I sell to you. And he says, okay, he wants to show he has some money, he pays. And everyone takes that and starts taking it. It becomes a rumor and it spreads really fast. So maybe it's just a one-time deal that someone got lucky with, but it's not something that is consistent in the market. That's what I'm just trying to say.
Okay. So how I understand what you guys just shared is, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're saying it can go that high, up to 36%, but it's not a common practice. But there is a market condition in your country that allows that, like off platform, meaning to say they made mention of chatting applications like WhatsApp or WeChat. So they do it off platform, not necessarily Paxful, not necessarily the Naira Crypto of Gozi, but they're not denying it. So yeah. So he said it depends on the desperation of the buyer. Well, I guess. Anyway, now let's go to our US friends and ask them how the peer-to-peer fares in their country. For example, yeah, Amando and Fred, what can you share your experiences out there in the United States? And you can go.
So
Yeah, Fred.
yes, okay, yeah, I didn't know if Armando was going. Okay, so yeah, it's pretty much the same everywhere. Um, like Gozi mentioned earlier, if you go to CoinMarketCap and then you go to markets, you can see a lot of different variations of where you're going to be able to buy your crypto and see exactly what prices you're going to get it at. Also, you want to, there is a Bitcoin price map out there that kind of goes pretty global of seeing some of the places of how high and how low it is in certain places. So that is one resource as well. But one of the things that I also see locally here in the U.S. and probably elsewhere is the Bitcoin ATM machines, right? The BTMs. Those are, those are pretty much, it goes to the point of Amika saying, it's all about desperation, right? If you just need to go to a ATM at any given time, you can get that markup. You can get that 10% markup, that 20% markup. So, in any of these BTMs that's out there, you're probably going to get, you know, additional 25% tacked onto it just because of convenience. So it just depends on where you're going. And like they mentioned, it's, you know, it's not necessarily prevalent everywhere, but it is a possibility that you will get that markup in certain places.
So, less short of saying, you're saying that around 25% is the rate for the markup in the US. It's possible to go as high as 25% on your
Yeah,
on your
you have to factor in some of these machines, you know, these ATM machines, which are, you know, pretty much can be set at anything. So if you go you know, to certain ATM machines and you may get a $2 surcharge or a $3 surcharge, and then somewhere else across town it may be $10 surcharge. It's the same way with regular ATMs you can do with the BTMs, where some of that markup is going to be 20 to 25%, because a lot of people, maybe they didn't want to go to the exchanges, the centralized exchanges, to get their Bitcoin, and they wanted to get it from a machine instead. So of course, because of that convenience, it's going to be a lot easier for them to mark it up to 25 or 30%.
So that's a good business out there in the United States, the BTMs. The BTM owner, like, they earn 25% on top. That's a lucrative business out there. Yeah, thank
Right.
you, Fred. Now let's hear from Amando what he has to say about this too. Amando?
Well, we have pretty established exchanges here in the United States. We have Coinbase, for example. So the price don't fluctuate that much. You know, usually Americans are paying, you know, the market price, not the usual, you know, market price. Market price plus the 20% compared to other countries. So it's, you know, I see it as a you know, stable relatively, and I think you know, exchanges here in the United States are becoming world leaders in the industry. So many people trust now because of the upcoming regulations from the government. The Congress, for example, now are moving towards regulating in a friendly way. And we are hopeful in the blockchain space that this kind of momentum will continue, because our goal is not to kill this industry, but the United States must lead this technological innovation. So again, I would like to go back on because the essence of this conversation today is about government control on the technology, and obviously that is why we're all here and talk about it. We have a use case in the case of Nigeria, where government you know, interfered, and we see what would be the reaction. The reaction is it's basically alienating the people. And what happened is, instead of, you know, the Nigerian government would like to see people using their fiat issued money, but as you can see, you know, in practice right now, people are delineated and they are now going further to the crypto space. And the government, because of that interference, it's the government loss. And this should be seen as a lesson from other government, where they don't have to kill the technology. Technology is always neutral, so they have to embrace it in a friendly way where they can cooperate. You know, it's a delicate balance, but regulation should not curtail, but regulation should support this technology. And you know, new technologies, disruptive technologies, always create anxiety, whether to the people or to the government. The government always wants to exert its influence, as you can see. But in our case, in our case right now with Nigeria, you see the opposite. Instead of government, you know, having a total control of the money supply, now people are, you know, using technology to stay away from the government oversight, and that is a bad news. So again, government should be friendly, and you know, people all around the world watching this this conversation should also consider, you know, regulating crypto in a friendly way, making it making the blockchain space develop more, not curtail it.
Yeah.
I'd
Thank you,
like to add,
Amando.
I'd like to add to what Amando said. I mean, I think one of the things here is we're talking about technology. And if we look at technology through the ages, essentially you have two choices. You either find a way to work with the technology or you risk getting left behind. And I do know, let's say, from some of the websites that are reporting on the Nigerian situation, there have been a number of countries which the Central Bank of Nigeria has cited as the reasons why they want to do the ban. But by the same token, I believe they can go through the same sites and they will also find equally as many countries who are looking to explore ways that they can work with cryptocurrency instead of an outright ban. I know that there are countries that are not open to crypto, but there are just as many, if not more, countries that are looking for a way that they can incorporate this new technology into how they work going forward. Because the technology is not going to go away. So it's really going to move on with or without you. And so I suppose governments should make the decision that if you have a choice, then you would want to be looking for a way to work with the technology and not be left behind.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that, Permin. And as a matter of fact, before you came into the room, Gozi is sharing his business model a while ago. That now, yeah, okay, Naira is not working for him right now. He might as well go to another country where his exchange can be accepted. With yeah, he's a centralized exchange. He'll just go and offer my services to a more friendlier African country that will cater to my crypto and my services. I have the technology to offer to them, and he will do business there as might as well, right? So I think that's what he mentioned a while ago. Now,
James,
yeah, yes, sir.
sorry, maybe we can also, by the way, we can also acknowledge and read some comments of the viewers in the chat box. Maybe you can also acknowledge the viewers during the session because there's a
Sure,
lot.
sure.
I'm seeing a lot of comments in the chat box with regards to our
Let's
topic.
look at it. Okay,
Sure.
sure, sure. Yeah, this is a very, very interesting and hot topic that we have here right now. We are trying to digest as much. Oh, we have 52 comments, coach.
Yeah.
Okay, we have here from we have you know this you know this girl Emeka. She's saying this is April from Paxful. She said this is very important. We have a huge corridor between Nigeria and Philippines. Filipino traders on Paxful trade with Nigeria. I agree. I am a Paxful peer, by the way. So yeah, I see this. I can see this happening with my community as well. The traders in our community are trading with Nigerian traders too. So this is true. And Kathleen said, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. And we also have Sly Pie. He said, this is a very good comment that he has here. I think the globalists don't understand the technology of cryptos because if they understood it well, all citizens will benefit, including them, the government. So that's what he said. This is very good insight. We just discussed one way or another how it is valid. Now, he also said the problem with the ban is that it won't stop the citizen. Yeah, yeah, we said that. We saw that happening. He said that the problem with the ban, it won't stop the people from trading crypto. It will not definitely stop the people. Well, Gozi mentioned that even for a centralized exchange, the exchange between crypto to crypto did not change at all. Only the crypto to fiat. And for Paxful, I believe it's safe to say that they have more business right now because people have no way to cash out their Bitcoin. They go Paxful, they go peer-to-peer. Find someone from the Philippines willing to buy a Bitcoin or willing to exchange. For example, they have anything. Then they will just exchange through the platform of a peer-to-peer or a decentralized exchange. Now, and a lot more comments here like good evening from Aragay Maricel. June Ibanez says good evening also. Yeah, and yeah, there's a lot of comments here. We will read through this and answer to you as much as we can after this broadcast. We have this one question though, which I think is very important for our partners from Nigeria to answer. Do the major exchanges No, not the decentralized exchange, but the crypto exchanges, the centralized exchange. Do the major crypto exchanges employ KYC policies or the know your customer policies? If no, why not? As this would be an argument. This is an argument that can be raised by authorities on why crypto should be banned. Gozi?
Okay. Basically, most Nigerian centralized exchanges actually do KYC, right? In fact, we spend a lot of money. We have very robust KYC platforms, and the truth is, KYC is not actually a problem for most of us, right? Of course, there are KYC tiers. If you're doing between this amount and this amount, there's a level of KYC you do and all that. I don't think that was a problem for the government because we have been actually calling on the government in part of our discussions with the SEC and in part of some of the press releases we've done. We've actually asked for a robust compliance laws to be setting. Like, tell us what to do in terms of compliance. Tell us what to do in terms of KYC, and we would implement it easily. You understand? Is both in our favor and in the favor of the government to actually do that. So that is not a problem for most centralized exchanges, and I think that is not the government's problem because that is already happening on many platforms. And even if it needs to be better, all you need to do is tell us this is what you should do, and we will do it at the bat of an eye. That's it.
Yeah, thank you, Gosi. So having said that, that means to say that the issue of identity, the issue of illegal activities is out of question. Because you guys are doing KYC, right? So basically, well, in my point of view, correct me if I'm wrong. I just would like to give also my commentary about this. The way that the government is trying to control crypto, well, we say they're not controlling crypto per se, they're controlling their money flow of Naira, is simply because they also wanted to protect the value or the what you call for correct me for a minute if I'm wrong, the PPP or the purchasing power parity of that particular currency, Naira. So they wanted to protect the value because if they think maybe that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency diminishes the value of their own Naira. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that the correct thing to put it? Gozi, do you
Yeah.
think so? Because
You
that's
you
the only
you're
thing I
you,
see.
you you're actually very correct, right? They actually want to control the remittance markets, right? They want to control maintain the value of the naira. Like if people are using naira to buy more crypto, indirectly there is an outward flow of naira for other foreign currencies because most of this liquidity is coming from foreign exchanges and all that. Yes, that is true. That's what they're trying to control, but to say they can achieve that, right? Many of us have called for the naira to be devalued, like for naira to for the government to remove their hands from the value of the naira, let it actually achieve its value, because you cannot keep trying to protect something that is already damaged. Let me put it like that. You understand? So in trying to do that, they just made it worse. In fact, after they've done that, the value of the naira to USD Tether it has even
Go
gone
down.
even for the worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, even for the worse. So it's funny
So it's not a
how they
solution.
think they can
Yeah.
control it. Yeah,
I see.
exactly.
So we're seeing, well, this could be a good lesson for all of us, even our own government. So if we have friends, maybe we have friends from the government listening to this broadcast right now. They have to learn from the Nigerian government experience that banning crypto did not actually address the problem. As what Fred Brandon made mention a while ago, with that ban, they just push people using cryptocurrency further to the decentralization of their own money, right? So yeah, it's not a solution. Yeah, I guess that's it. But if you guys wanted to share more about anything, let us know with this before we wrap up the broadcast. Coach
So
Donatan. Oh yeah,
okay.
yes, Emika, do you want to say something?
So with what to support what Chair Gozea said, uh, the CBN, like I said, if you remember what I said from the beginning, it's part of, let's say they're scared of the technology. They're just trying to tame it. So if it comes to identity, Nigeria is one of the African country that is already ready for the fourth industrial revolution. We have what we call a kind of identity system that has captured all financial included people in Nigeria. We call it the bank verification number, which comes with your biometric. So KYC in Africa or in Nigeria to say is not an issue. And as Shiagoze has said, the remittance market is what is actually the issue for the government. So like I had the CBN governor saying that the remittance annually for Nigeria is meant to be at the World Bank statistics says we do $25 billion from everyone from diaspora annually. But the CBN is saying on their books, they don't get even up to 10% of that. So where is the remaining figures? Like, where is that money? So Shiagoze is correct when he said the remittance. So CBN is saying, you tell us, World Bank is telling us, sending us the data that $25 billion is what your people from diaspora is doing. But on our books, we're not saying this $25 billion. So they're not trying to reason that in Pakistan, diaspora funds are helping the economy. The same with India, the same with Philippines. But in Nigeria, they're trying to say that these funds, they are not saying it and they can't utilize it. So they're trying to create channels for the commercial banks to receive these funds. But what they just did was to make people go, like Rod Braddon said, is to make people go dark mode. Before there was the commercial centralized exchanges, people were trading crypto through WhatsApp, through different groups, through online channels where you don't even know. Like I said, Nigerians discovered Bitcoin. No, we didn't actually get someone telling us about this technology. We were like, most of us here were like ground soldiers, like Shiagoze, me. We discovered it on ourselves. We started trading this thing without centralized systems within ourselves. So they just push these things away and Nigerians will always look for solutions. It's just time. Before you know, we might not even need the banks anymore to even start funding exchanges. So I think that's what I just want to say to wrap up. Thank you.
Thank you, Emeka. So our friends from Nigeria is trying to say that when they did discover Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, it was like, well, correct me if I'm wrong. I will be using this term. It was like liberation for them. It's like they're free, right? So because they have now control over their money, over their finance. So is it safe to say that you felt that you have you have this power to the people thing, like, because of cryptocurrency?
So let me just say it this way. When there was the Amazon, the Google, we didn't have the opportunity to invest in all those companies. Even to date, we can't even invest in Tesla so easily. But Bitcoin gave us access to invest in $1 trillion market cap with so easily. So we respect that, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Emeka. That's a very good analogy. People like, yeah, our friends from the United States, they can easily buy stocks of big companies, even companies from the Philippines, for example. They can have access to that. But us guys or you guys, you don't have access to that. You can't buy a Tesla. Yeah, but you can buy a Bitcoin using the centralized platform. And that's a good thing for you. And that's actually like revolutionary in a way because it levels the playing field, right? Yes. Let's hear from Brandon. The guy from the first world, from the third world to the first world. Let's hear from him. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, you said it all. Honestly, this really is empowering. Bitcoin is empowering to everyone, and once people start understanding exactly the power they can hold with just understanding how to get into crypto, how to get into this new decentralized era, where we are putting the power back into our hands, everyone will be the better for it. We have been in this situation for a very long time where the central banks has had us under their thumb, right? Giving us these predatory loans and just pretty much keeping us a slave to debt. But Bitcoin changes that, for the most part. We have the ability to be our own banks. We have our ability to, control our own destiny. And pretty much, if I want to send money to a friend across the world, I can do it without any intermediary that's going to sit there and take their own cut for doing something I can do peer to peer. So once we start understanding that and getting that education and knowledge out to our people, and understanding that, hey, we can have our power back and we don't necessarily need these central banks to be controlling us, like they've always done, then it'll be more power to the people.
Thank you, Fred, for that insight. Now let's hear from Gozi, what he has to say about
Okay.
this.
Okay, like there is something that was just pointed out here that you could buy Bitcoin easily from Nigeria, but I could not buy a stock of, let's say, Tesla, for instance, right? I could not even buy Nigerian stocks easily. That's how funny it is, right? I can't even buy Nigerian stocks easily. You don't. Yeah, like it's actually very difficult, and even I remember back in my university days, I wanted, like, I had interest in the financial markets. Basically, I wanted to buy Nigerian stocks. I could not, right? With my little money, I could not buy stock. Like, the minimum amounts were very crazy. The compliance is very crazy, and this takes us to one thing, right? The whole crypto space, not just in Nigeria but in the rest of the world, right? We should be looking beyond the existing cryptocurrencies we have today. We should be looking towards decentralizing the whole financial system, right? I am glad some people are already working towards that. Like, imagine if we had tokenized stocks, for instance, right? I believe some people are already working towards that, some exchanges like FTX and the rest. But imagine if we had a broader scale of tokenized stocks, whereby contracts are issued against the stocks, and of course the actual stocks are still held by the custodians. You have a situation where with as little as in dollar value, as little as $5, I could buy the stocks and be exposed to the stocks, right? You have more people participating in the financial markets. Imagine if real estate, for instance, land, real estate, like is being tokenized, right? I could earn rental income with as low as $10. So we need to be working towards utility and decentralizing the whole financial system, even the market for loans, even the market for equity, the market for bonds, the market for everything. We should be looking towards massive decentralization, and this could allow everybody participate in these markets. Thank you.
I love that, Gozi, and thank you very much. Now, speaking of decentralization, let's hear it from the president of the company that actually works on decentralized applications. Let's hear it from Amando, the president of Althash blockchain platform for decentralized apps.
Right. So as you know, the blockchain space is shaking up traditional institution because blockchain space enable us to act differently from a centralized way of thinking to a decentralized way of thinking. From finances, financial technology, where we are in, and then we want to apply it to the government, to healthcare. Decentralization equals democratization. So putting our control, going back to the people. That's the very essence of decentralization. And and we're happy to offer those courses for free in our platform. The shaking, the disruption of decentralization will continue. And I would like to see this as an analogy here in the United States. Those companies who embrace the early days of online shopping survived and flourished. Like Amazon now is the biggest, and other store as well. But for those establishment and business who resisted online shopping, they basically filed bankruptcy, and you can see it as an example. So this should be seen by governments and other institutions all over the world, that the blockchain space is here and it's not going away. So they better be innovate and embrace this institutional change, because we're going on this direction. By the way, it's not just in the financial sector, but similar development you can see is this Uber, food delivery. So these are all decentralized and democratized, and it's gaining popularity, like in the blockchain space, because the control is with the people within. So I would like you to see a diagram where right now our existing infrastructure is centralized. So it is geared towards the center, but in reality, there are communities, institutions who are in the periphery. And there's plenty of people try to see this in our perspective in financial technology. The centralized structure is the banking system backed by the government, but the periphery these are the unbanked people who want to gain entry to the to the central core, but they don't have access. And most of the time, they are denied access. So these periphery, who are numbers of billions, the unbanked, need to be serviced on. With this blockchain technology, these periphery people in the periphery um, are able to connect, in, become empowered by the blockchain technology. So whether we like it or not, this central way of thinking, central way of doing things will gradually disintegrate and be replaced by these decentralized structures. So those people right now in power should consider of embracing this technology in order to maintain their dominance. Because if they don't, going back to the example case in the United States, they will fade. Stores who did not embrace online shopping file bankruptcy. The same with the centralized institution right now, especially in financial technology. So I'm showing you that, as a conceptual framework where we are in. All of us are working now in the decentralized, and it continuously expanding. Our system is continuously expanding, and those people who resist will surely be left behind.
Thank you, Amando. And now let's hear also from Permin what he has to say. Permin, your microphone.
Right. I think our friends from Nigeria and Fred and Amando have given strong insights, and I think it's the common theme from all of us. The If you look at when the internet was new, there were many people that said it would fail. It wouldn't take off. Years later, pretty much you can't really do anything without the internet. And the internet at some point in time has proven to be a great equalizer for the small and medium businesses that allowed them to compete with the bigger brick and mortar companies. Now we've had further technological developments with blockchain and cryptocurrency, which is a step further in terms of equalizing the playing field and providing access for a variety of services to those who were previously not captured by the traditional system. So I go back to what I had mentioned earlier. The technology is going to be here to stay. It's not a choice for the government to make whether the technology will happen or not. It will happen. What the government's choice should be is, how do I find a way to work with the technology to make things better for the government and for its people? That is what they should be thinking of.
All right. Thank you very much, Fermin. And I think that's in unison also with what the rest of our panelists have mentioned a while ago. And of course, let's hear also from our coach, Jonathan Tinoco, about what he has to say before we wrap up.
Sure, James. Thank you. I think, first of all, our guest speakers, friends, have mentioned already the most important part of the session, but people will always find ways. Even if governments would like to stop or even ban cryptocurrency, people always find ways to participate in the market. It happened many times, and it will continuously and will going to happen eventually again in the future. Okay? Like what BDO said, if they said we find ways, people always find ways.
Okay. Thank you very much, Coach Jonathan, for that analogy. Now, wrapping things up, I would like to thank everyone. Of course, I would like to thank, again, let me mention this, our partners for this broadcast. Of course, we have Museigen Academy of Coach Jonathan Tinoco, our community, the Resistance Trader. Of course, we also have our Paxful, a decentralized exchange, Naira Crypto from Nigeria, also our partner from the United States, Brand New Technologies, HTML Coin Foundation, and Althash Blockchain and Althash University. Okay. Thank you very much, guys, for participating. It's a very, very insightful session we had today. And I hope our listeners and our viewers have learned a lot from this session that we had. And with that, I'd like to say happy weekend. Power to the people.
Okay, thank you, James. And again, for those of us watching, we'll see you next week in our future events. This is not the last session that we have, so please expect that we are going to have a regular session on weekend. Okay, so stay safe, everyone. Fred, Fermin, Armando, Ezekiel, Chagosi, and of course, James. Thank you very much to all of you, and see you guys soon. See you guys online. Stay safe, everyone. Have a great day. Have a great week.
Thanks again, Emeka, Ozzy, Fred, Amando, and James.
Thank you for me.
Jonathan.
Same here, guys.
Thank you.
Nice to
See you.
talk with you
Nice to meet
all.
everyone. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, guys.